There's that saying from the Las Vegas tourism campaign that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And I wish that were true with regard to European censorship of the internet and particularly social media. But unfortunately, it's not true. What happens in Europe with regard to social media censorship does not stay in Europe. And it's something that we as Americans need to be very concerned with. This is in the news recently because the French arrested Pavel Durov, who was one of the founders of Telegram, the massive social media site. And they're blaming him for not properly moderating the content on Telegram. That has huge implications because Telegram is used by many millions of Americans, and therefore it is affecting us. What they're going to do with him, we don't know. But this is part of a pattern of the Europeans and the EU trying to impose their own regulations and their own rules regarding freedom of speech on Americans. We've seen it with regard to Facebook. We've seen it with regard to, in Britain, threats to extradite Americans who post content on social media that the government in Britain does not like. And so this is a real threat to us. It's a threat that is unfortunately going to find a very receptive audience in the District of Columbia among government officials because they've already been doing it here. Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook just released a statement reflecting how the Biden administration pressured him and pressured Facebook to suppress information about COVID, information, by the way, which turned out to be accurate, as well as suppressing the New York Post story about the Hunter Biden laptop, which, of course, we now know and knew at the time was accurate. So this is a real threat. The bureaucracies, whether it's in Europe or the United States, are a real threat to our online speech. At least in the United States, we can vote them out of office, but we can't vote them out of office in Europe. So this is something that's of huge concern. It's going to affect all of us. It puts us individually at risk, and it puts our freedom of expression at risk. So do worry about what happens in Europe, when it comes to social media censorship. Unlike Vegas, is not staying in Europe.